With over 400 celebrity interviews and tons of pop culture nerdiness, Too Opinionated is a safe haven for your inner geek. Find us at meistercon.com or on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod. And please subscribe. It would really help us out. Thanks, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. Super excited today. I've got returning guest, friend of the podcast, Chris Ufland with me. So welcome, Chris.
Thank you. It's so glad to be back. I'm so glad this reminds me that I'm still working as an actor when I come on here.
We're getting better. Each time you come on, we've improved. The first time, complete disaster.
Yeah, I sounded like Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, it was terrible. Second time was pretty good.
Right.
But no video.
Ah.
Oh,
so
now,
the one we did.
I don't remember. Maybe it had video. Did we do video live? I can't remember. But this time, perfection.
Shoot, I should have got my makeup people to make me look younger.
Well, that's an unfair advantage because I don't.
And my hair person to give me some more hair to add some follicles to the top of my head.
I just saw an ad on Facebook where they had this stuff that looked like shoe polish, and you just.
That reminds me, I was doing a play. Hopefully, I think it's we can talk about this stuff on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I was doing a play about 7 years ago, and me and this woman were the two leads of this play, and it was three couples, and it was a funny couples swapping thing, a party about a couple that was like they had sexual doldrums in their life, and so they wanted to go to they heard about a sex party. It was a swap party, so they went to this party. Anyway, all of us were all about the same age in the cast, and 1 week they had these alternating casts, and so the writer-playwright decided, and he looked like he could have been old enough to be all of our fathers. He was like in his late 60s. And he had like very little hair. It was like just a bad hair day, like all the time. It was like a poor man's Woody Allen. So okay, so we were about to go up for a weekend, and the playwright director, which is always a bad idea to have a playwright direct his own play, but that's a whole other issue. He decided, because he had a crush on all the cute girls that were in the play, that he wanted to be part of the cast that weekend. And it was ridiculous because all of us were all like the same age. We're all like people like in our maybe early mid 40s. So it was really
wanted
funny.
in on that swap party.
He wanted to be part of the swap party. Apparently, it was it was slightly autobiographical. But anyway, there's a reason to the shoe polish in relation to what you had just said a second ago. So we're literally backstage, and two of the actresses decided, because in the play we all had to be kissing one another. It was very, very sexual, and the girls didn't want anything to do with kissing this guy. So the two lead actresses didn't even they were like, we're not showing up this weekend. So we had to hire other actresses that were willing to like kiss him. So we're backstage, the small backstage. The lead girl who plays my wife is there putting on like a shoe polish thing on his head, literally moments before we're going on stage to make him look like he had more hair. Anyway, that's my
He sabotaged his own play.
He did, but that's him. So anyway, that's a funny story I had to share.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So we were supposed to start like an hour ago, but you were on set today.
On set on something that, because it's so soon, I can't say, but I know this is gonna come back and haunt me, but it was such an interesting, you're always such like a Wikipedia of knowing every job that they've ever done. You always remind me who I've worked with, and I always forget. Yeah. So today I was working on the set of something, a very small part, tiny part, and started talking to this guy who was on the set, or this guy overheard me talking to someone else on the set, and I was telling him that I had just taken my SAG pension, which if anyone listen to this podcast, they probably don't understand, but when you're an old guy like me who's been in hundreds of things, they have this thing when you turn a certain age that you can start collecting your pension. If you're 55, which
I think that means you have to quit acting, though.
Well, no, you keep going. I should quit because I'm not working that much, but I am working. But anyway, so this guy next to me overheard me talking about it, and he said, and I know this is going to get back on whatever. He said, he goes, because he used to be Ed O'Neill's double, and I said, oh, that's crazy. I recurred on a TV show with Ed O'Neill called L.A. Dragnet about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he goes, I've been Ed's like double for the last few years, and he's my good buddy. He goes, I was on LA Dragnet as well. Just a complete freaking coincidence. So I was like, just there's another credit that I
did you remember him once he said that, or were you guys not on at the same time?
We weren't on at the same time. I don't think we're in the same way. I worked on a bunch with Ed, who was one of the nicest guys I'd ever worked with. Sweetheart of a guy. But sadly, that show only went, I think it was 10 episodes, and I did like the first 3 out of the 10 or something, and the show got canceled, which was a real bummer because it would have helped me buy a house if it continued to continue on.
It was a pretty good show.
It was okay. They had, John Wells. I mean, the guy, who's the guy who does all the SVUs? Why am I drawing?
Yeah. I think that's John Wells, isn't it?
No, John Wells did ER. It's
Oh, that's right. Yeah, John Wells was the he was bigger 25 years ago.
Yeah, well, John Wells did ER, Shameless, West Wing, ER, and ER, West Wing. Both I had little parts on. Actually, the other day I was watching on, I think it was Headline News. They were doing like a West Wing marathon. I happened to go on, and there was my episode, which was crazy.
They should have had you as a cast member on West Wing, because I think you'd have fit right in with that cast.
Well,
you could have totally been a political person.
Well, I recurred on the show Commander in Chief, where I played
I know.
I did 3 episodes on that show as well.
Yeah, you've got that look, man. Maybe you need to run for office.
I could run for like SAG at some point. Lord knows I've been doing it for long enough.
I think I have had 3 or 4 SAG presidents on the show at different times. At some point they were a president.
Which one? Melissa McCarthy? I mean, Melissa McCarthy. Melissa.
No.
Gilbert?
No, I didn't have her. Who was before her? Do you remember?
There was a guy named Alan Rosenberg that was after her.
Yeah, he was after. Oh shoot.
There was the guy from White Shadow. That TV show White Shadow, who was a really sweet guy.
Well, I haven't heard that show in a while.
I think it was White Shadow. Yeah, I think the guy from White Shadow.
Was he the main guy?
One of them, I think.
Yeah.
He passed away a few years ago, but I remember he was one of the presidents at some point.
Keep going. I'm gonna look it up because I can't remember the names off the top of my head.
God, I can't remember who it was. So anyway, yeah, just a complete coincidence. Talking to this guy, overheard him, and he mentions how he used to be Ed O'Neill's double, and he had worked on L.A. Dragnet, which I had obviously recurred on. So,
Gabrielle Carteris. That was.
Oh, of course. Oh, you had Gabrielle in there. Yeah, Gabrielle was a very. Oh, I thought you said. Yeah, Gabrielle was recent. That was a few years ago that she was the president of SAG.
Yeah. I had her and also had the guy that played her husband on 90210 came on the show.
Oh, wow.
And there was I've at least had, I think there was one other one. Alpha, it'll hit me at some point. Keep going.
Anyway, another coincidence today, or this past week, I just signed with a new manager, and she represents Sherilyn Finn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sherilyn and I now are sharing the same manager, coincidentally.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Hasn't Sherilyn been on your thing?
Sherilyn's been on the thing, and we worked with her, of course, on last Saturday night. But yeah, she came on the show, just terrific. She did it. I'm pretty sure she did the episode from a hotel room. I'm not sure where she was at, but I think she was in a hotel room. She did it like she was in a really fancy bathrobe.
Fancy bathrobe?
Yeah, like it was fancy. Yeah, it was fancy.
Oh, Mike, be careful. You get your wife all out of shape about that one.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun. That That was pretty good. But I think when we were in LA in December and we talked, or not December, what was that? October and talked. You were mentioning that you're switching.
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was with Sherilyn's manager.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. How'd that meeting come about?
That meeting came about. A friend of mine who's a producer. This company, they have they produce little movies and they also manage. And my friend asked me, he's like, hey, I'm working with these people. They're managing also Kathy Moriarty, from Raging Bull.
Yeah.
I told them, they were asking me about certain people that I liked as actors, and I mentioned your name, and they went on your IMDb, chrisufland.com or whatever it is, IMDb. And they went on there and saw my work and were like, look, we want to manage this guy. He's good. He's done a lot of work. So we want to work with him. So I decided to take them on as a manager.
I think what you're saying is that when they reboot Twin Peaks again, you might be on there.
I would love to be on that. I was friends with one of the guys who's one of the stars of that show, Dana Ashbrook, and I don't know how I somehow missed the boat on getting on that show because I knew that casting director way back when, and those people have all gone on to have great the celebrity convention things. They're all it's like being on that show. They're like that was like a big
it has a cult following.
Huge.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that I never got. I mean, maybe I wasn't on X-Files with that one thing because that was talk about another huge cult following was that show, which was a major cult following.
Oh my gosh, yeah, X-Files. Wait, I look back now and when you see the first few episodes, they weren't even very good at acting at that point. They weren't, but they got better pretty quick.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the first couple episodes, I was like, this is interesting, but I don't know about that acting. But then, of course, they figured it out. They're pretty good now.
Well, I think that's probably par for the course with a lot of shows. It may takes a little bit to start getting in the groove.
So. Yeah, and that like X-Files, it was the big show for Fox when Fox first started up.
100%. I mean, it was their biggest show. I think was it them and Married with Children?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I think Married with Children. I think Married with Children was because of comedy, and X-Files because of.
They were both different because Married with Children was kind of raunchy. X-Files was completely different from anything else on TV at that time. So they had those two shows that were different than anything that was on the networks. And I think that kind of launched Fox. It's kind of interesting.
Right.
So okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So walk me. I get asked all the time from people that aren't actors about how this stuff works. So you're on a set today.
Yeah.
So did you find this on your own in audition, or was this sent to you to audition?
This I found on my own because someone knew me, so they knew I was right for the
connection.
Part. But as we are now, why we're talking is because of Leverage, which I just did, which is now going to be on.
We got we're going to talk. Well, okay, yeah, let's talk. Leverage might be a better one to do. So you get sent the opportunity to audition for it, right?
I had to film. That's the big thing nowadays. These self tapes. I'm sure probably Sharon even have to do it. And on Leverage Redemption, the reboot, which is on IMDb TV. If you're trying to find the new Leverage,
which is on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon.
Yeah, you can watch it on Amazon. You can watch it on Amazon. You can watch it on IMDb TV.
Which is IMDb is a free service. So even if you don't have Amazon,
well, that's where Bosch, the Bosch spinoff, is on. Amazon and IMDb TV as well, so you can watch them both. Which
by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. We want you on the new Bosch.
Well, can you say something and get them?
Yes, I'm putting it out into the universe. We want the fire marshal back.
Well,
they're still in LA. You could recur.
They said they were probably going to. It hasn't happened yet. But if you've been watching reboot of Bosch, a lot of characters that they've had come back were the season that I was in. You have some people that have popped up, and they're the same character. They have all the same people. So I did just read for Michael Connelly's other show, Lincoln Lawyer, which I don't think I got, but
Chris Browning was on Lincoln Lawyer.
Yeah, it's a great show. Some really good stuff on that show.
They should get you for that. You'd be good for that.
I know. I hope the same Michael Connelly, he did both those shows. So back to Leverage.
Michael Connelly did Bosch?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I should have known that. My dad read the books, but I guess I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, Michael Connelly did both the Bosch books.
Well, I love Bosch.
Yeah, you and me both. So yeah, as far as back to Leverage, yeah, I got the opportunity. I heard about the opportunity before my agent actually did, because I know Dean Devlin, and Dean Devlin, if you don't know Dean Devlin, he's the one who created Leverage. He produced Independence Day, and he's has a show called Librarians with Noah Wiley's on.
Yeah, as a family, we love the Librarians because the kids, when they were younger, we all watched together.
Oh yeah. So now Noah Wiley, they had to fire Timothy Hutton because he got into some legal trouble. Yeah. And they brought in Noah Wiley to take over, and he's now kind of doing what Timothy Hutton did on Librarians. He's now doing that on Leverage. Yeah. So I had heard about the part, and I know Dean Devlin a little bit, so I reached out to Dean and said, hey, I heard you're casting this role. I'd love to read for it. And he said, well, we're going for a name on that part, but there's a great role that I think you'd be right for. Why don't you self-tape for that? I was like, absolutely. God, for sure. And so I self-taped, and then a day later, it was nice. As actors, it seemed this new self-tape world, we almost never hear anything. We feel like we're just out there self-taping, giving our 150%, and it just seems like no reward. You never hear anything.
I wondered if that was tougher because, like, even if you're in the room, right? Even if you don't know something when you leave, you probably got a feel for whether or not they liked you or not. But with the tape, you have no idea. You're just throwing it into the ether.
Michael, that's right on target. In fact, there's pros and cons to both. When you go in the room, or when you used to, because of COVID now, casting directors like, we don't want anyone coming in our room, so you can you have to go do it on your own. You would get a direction from a casting director, so you would get and whenever a cast director gives you some direction, you're like doing something right generally. Right. And also with you sometimes have like a first read with a casting director, and then they'll have you call back to producers and writers and everyone else. And
if they just say thank you, you didn't get it right.
You know what? Well, I'm going to back up, because when I went in for X-Files, and this is a perfect example of me not knowing, me thinking I completely blew it. 6 Feet Under was one that I knew when I did it, I'm like, I'm getting that. There's no other actor alive that's going to beat what I just did, which we've shared. My 6 Feet Under experience. I don't think I told you my X-Files experience. When I went in for X-Files, there was like always, there's like 20 guys that are waiting to go in the room. I go in the room, and it was this big, huge, like a stoner, like seeing like a UFO and weird stuff that was happening. So as actors, we have to create that, because obviously it's not reality. But you have to create it in a way where it seems like it's grounded in reality, where you're believable. And right. I remember I did my whole X-Files audition, and got done, and there was like Chris Carter and all the people who were the main people were sitting there. It was just this kind of like dead silence. And then it was like, I hear like cast, like, okay, thank you, Chris. I was like, I got done, walked out, and I was literally I was about to cry. I'm like, I'm quitting. They hated what I did. I literally took up the sides. Those are pages that actors get that they have to learn their lines. I ripped up the lines and threw in the trash, went in my car, sat in my car for like 20 minutes, just like, oh my God, I want to quit this career. I'm horrible. They hated me. And all of a sudden the phone rang, and it was my agent saying, hey, we just got word you just got offered X-Files. I was like, what? I was ready to quit. I'm done. I thought they hated me. So, I mean, it's like we're literally, sometimes we have no idea if they like us or not. But going in the room is definitely got a lot of pros. But also, I'm such a pro and such a perfectionist. With this having to shoot from home, I'll just do it and do it and do it till it feels like it's like literally like perfect, where it's like, so they can think, wow, we don't have to do anything with this guy. This guy's ready to go do it right now. So
Yeah.
But we're on our own, where we got to kind of like trust our instincts that we know what we're doing, and we know how to direct ourselves. So, but you're right, though. It's definitely, you can always get some kind of, like, I remember once I read for a big TV series. I think it was called Dead Lawyers or something. And it was a pretty big, I remember I was in there, totally nailed it out of the park. And the writer said to the director, let's get our actor to do what he just did.
That's not right.
I'm like, well, thanks, I guess. I mean, come on, so, but I do, the going in the room is always good. But so back to Leverage. So, which was really cool is that, a day later, Dean Devlin, emailed me to say, he goes, by the way, you killed it. You were great. You knocked it out of the park. So it's like, that was pretty cool. That was like,
yeah, it's pretty neat.
We don't get that very often. It's nice to hear from someone. And then I found out, a couple of days later that they hired me for it. And it was really cool because when I got done shooting the episode, he emailed me like a day or two later when I got back. He goes, you really killed it in the episode. You really nailed it.
See, now that's pretty nice. That's like going above and beyond, because they don't have to do that.
No, we don't. Dude, when I did Bosch, I didn't know anything. I had no idea. I mean, and when it was on, everybody was like, A, you should be back, and B, you were really good on that show, and I don't understand why you're not back at this point.
Yeah, you were. So when you get to the set for Leverage, what's the first thing you do? Where do you go?
Well, Leverage shoots in New Orleans. So I was flown, this is great as actors when we get jobs. They fly, we get the whole first class treatment. They send a limo or a town car, pick us up, fly us first class. And it was cool because I didn't know, it's a good question, who got the other role that I had initially asked Dean about. When I got there, I was walking into the hotel, and there walking in at the same time was Doug Savant, who is, Doug was a regular on Melrose Place for 7 years and a regular on Desperate Housewives. And
he's a good actor.
Like, hey, and I hadn't seen him in years. He and I used to see each other reading the rooms, and then he became huge. I mean, it's just a huge TV star. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm here to do this show, Leverage. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing Leverage. And I'm like, what, are you playing the part? That part? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. So he and I were cast, and I hope it's okay that I say this, but let's just say we get into some hijinks. If you know the show, it's kind of a procedural. There's, usually people who do something bad. There's usually someone that's good. And and then the Leverage team, uncovers who were the bad guys. So
that's right. There might be a red herring in there. I know you've played a red herring before.
I've played many red herrings in there. No, let's just say that I try to deflect blame in the episode, trying to have someone else be the red herring, but I am into some dirty stuff.
Is there a possibility that you could come back, or was this just a one-time deal?
I think on this one, I would say it's probably a one-time deal, but you never know. Sometimes shows either get a lot of like audience, like, oh, we love that character, and sometimes people plead, and then all of a sudden something happens. I don't think so, because I think I'm pretty much going to be going to jail for what I get busted for. So I just think I'm going to be. However, I have, when I was on NCIS, I was a guy that was in jail, and they came to me trying to find out.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Maybe that would happen again.
So it's from your mouth to God's ears. I mean, I definitely thought with Bosch I was going to be back. I mean, so that's,
I still think you will be. I mean, we haven't even hit season 2 yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. They did tell me that there was a good chance I was going to be back. So it's tough to say. I would love to, because everybody in the cast of Leverage was amazing. It was just such a really great bunch of people to work with. They're really, really good, really, really talented. It's a really good show. So it's a fun show, and it's hard. Like when you have to recast your lead, sometimes that can be the end of a show, but it didn't hurt it. No, it was seamless, and Noah's so good. Noah's so, and he's such a pro, and one of the sweeter, nicest guys I've ever worked with.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he comes across that way.
Did you happen to? Oh, yes, yeah, and he's also probably one of the smartest guys. He's literally like you, like a walking Wikipedia. He's like, Chris, I remember you're really good in that thing. I'm like, Noah, how do you remember this stuff? He remembers like people who had like 2 lines on an episode that he did in of ER, which I think 250 episodes of that show, and he would remember like just about everything. It was really a cool thing that he would do that, because a lot of people are like, I guarantee you, if I saw David Duchovny right now, I say, hey, David, you remember me on X-Files? He has no clue. Clue. So
now I hope that for some reason he sees this interview and then runs into you and be like, I remember you, jackass.
Who, David Duchovny?
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably not. No. Hey, if he's listening to this, we're thrilled if he's hearing this interview. So, but I hope that if nothing else, I would love to work with Dean. I would do anything with Dean. I mean, he's also one of the nicer guys out there, and just he like knows how to direct, knows how to write, knows how to shoot, knows how to produce, and knows how to treat people really, really well. There are certain people I've worked with over the years, directors, who, they tend to be a little spicy.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Jesse Schramm that worked with Noah on Falling Skies was on the show. And she said she had something where she passed out or she got dizzy and fell or something and woke up. He was kind of over top of her, checking on her. And the first thing that popped in her head was, Dr. Carter is checking on me.
Like, I'd love to help you, but I just play a doctor on TV. I'm not actually a doctor.
Yeah.
I just say pulse ox 180 over 50, but I don't know what that actually means.
So did you have, when you get to set, did you have a trailer, or do you just go to see somebody? How's that work?
Well, I mean, each, when you're on location, it's a little different than here, because they have, they put you up in a hotel and they give you,
right.
They had someone pick us up. Me and Doug actually was shared. They drove us. Then we had to go do a wardrobe fitting. You have to do a wardrobe fitting, which was so much fun. We and I were at the wardrobe fitting together and just totally goofing off. I wish I had. I think I posted a picture of my wardrobe. My wardrobe with the bolo tie and everything. Oh my God, it's just.
I like the bolo tie.
Great, awful. I mean, it's like it's funny actually. When Doug and I went to the wardrobe fitting, we went to go say hi to Dean when we got there, Dean Devlin, and I had done the self-tape with my normal voice and got cast. The show takes place in New Orleans, but I think could be any town. However, this specific episode took place in Oklahoma, but Doug and I were guys that came from somewhere else. We're a little shady guys.
Did you get to wear a cowboy hat with your bolo tie?
Trying to remember if I did. I did do it with an accent though.
Oh, nice.
That's what I was about to say that I loved is that, and I wouldn't have done that. I thank Doug for that, because Doug asked Dean right there with me next to him and says, hey, Dean, what are you thinking about with these accents? And I thought to myself, oh man, I didn't even do it with an accent. He goes, and Doug's like, would you be okay if I did like an Oklahoma Southern thing? And Dean was like, do what you want. If you want to do it, sure. If you feel it's for the character. And I was like, well, should I? He's like, sure. So I was like, thankfully I've done some voiceover stuff where it's like I can do a generic sort of Southern thing. So you're from West Virginia, so you'll be able to tell like if it sounds decent or not.
I was gonna say, you've been around Emily and I enough. You should be able to mimic this accent by now.
You'd be able to mimic this accent. I did try to mimic this accent. Probably sounds horrible, but
no. See, you actually, the part that I liked about that is you kind of mumble it just a little bit, which is exactly like, to my ears, that's what a Southern accent sounds like. It's slightly muffled.
Right. Well, hopefully that'll come across in my character, which we'll be seeing on 14th on Amazon, IMDb TV.
Yeah,
Leverage.
I was going to ask you. I thought it was around the middle of the month. It was what episode of the season is it? Seven.
It's another good tidbit. If you ever, and you're going to know this, but if someone were asked you, hey, what was the episode number? What was the 100th episode of Leverage?
Oh, nice. That's a big one.
I'm in episode 100. Yeah.
That used to be the syndication episode.
Exactly. That's where when you hit, if you're on a show and it's like got to season 3 and the networks are still behind it, they're probably sticking with it because they're so close to 100 episodes.
Yeah. That's the money episode.
That's the money episode. Exactly. So they tend to, the 100th episode is always something that's so highly marketed when they're trying to, market that specific episode. Here's the 100th episode of it, whatever, NCIS, 100th episode of ER. It's always
weird now though, because the seasons are so much smaller on a lot of these shows. It'd take them 10 years to get to 100.
Exactly. Well, yeah, especially because Netflix and those shows, I think they do like 10 episode pickups when they do it. I think like Ozark, I think those were 10.
Yeah, most of them are 10. Maybe 13 if they're lucky.
Yeah.
That's like half what it used to be.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, it used to be there was 26, 20, 22 seemed to be the main number. Sometimes a few more or less, but yeah. So
that's pretty good. So does when you got to do your part, is it just a 1-day shoot or are you there for several days?
Oh, I was there 10 days.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah. I was there 10 days. The episodes for Leverage, I think, are 6 or 7 day shoots. A lot of 1-hour dramas. The bigger ones that are networked sometimes are 10-day shoots, but Leverage is a little smaller budget, so they shoot everything in 6 or 7. Yeah. I was. Are
you working that entire 10 days, or is there do you have to wait around for a couple of days?
Well, there were 2 weekends where they were off, and I was there over both of the weekends.
Oh, okay. Okay, so about 6 days for the episode shoot.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I was real excited. You were kind of throwing a little bit of hints out that you were going to be on something. So that was the game we were playing, trying to guess which.
I think did I ever tell you that that's what it was or no?
Yeah, eventually. I think I may have guessed it because I think you had mentioned something about Noah and that.
I think I posted. Actually, that's what I was about to say. I think. When I was in the makeup trailer, this is really cool too. This is how cool Noah is. Noah comes in, I'm sitting in the makeup trailer, he comes over to me and says hello. He's like, let's take a picture together. And so I'm doing a selfie of Noah and I.
That's a good picture.
And he's right behind me. And when you're on a TV show in the makeup trailer, they'll always have the cast pictures behind them because they need to use that for matching. And right above me, completely coincidental, I had no idea. People are gonna think I'm lying. But behind me on that picture, when I'm taking the selfie with Noah and I, was my 8x10 shot right above my head.
Really? I don't think I noticed that.
Totally coincidentally, it was like I looked at the picture, I'm like, oh my God, that's my picture right above me.
Awesome.
So it's pretty
that's
cool.
Awesome. We've been talking. I think with this episode, you have been on the program more than anybody else.
So, I think you had other people. This is my 3rd time, but you've had other people who've been on a couple times, right?
Yeah, I've had a few that have been on. I may have had. Let me think. If I had anybody that's been, I don't think I've had any 3-timers. So I'm thinking we need like a jacket, like Saturday Night Live, like a robe or 5-timers club.
Right. Not a KKK robe, like a.
No, yeah, we need something though, don't you think? And then you can wear that when you come back for whatever.
Sure thing. You can go get me that robe and I'll wear it for if we have a 4-time, that means I had something to talk about, which means I probably got a good gig. So
that's right. Well, but now then the responsibility comes every time somebody hits, the 4th or 5th time on the show, you have to make like a pop in to congratulate them on joining the 5-timer club.
Well, hopefully that's like the Mile High Club. That's a different club.
Yeah, it's a different club. That's a different club. That club's probably more fun than my 5-pound.
Yes, I'd like to be part of that one Mile High Club. What is it? Karl Marx said, who wants to be a part of a club where they have me as a member? I'll definitely be a member of the Mile High Club, though.
Yeah.
And hopefully Michael, who you're going to be having on, Mike Reedy coming on, Matt Reedy. When I said Michael.
Yeah, Matt Reedy. Yeah, he's coming on here in just a few minutes.
Hopefully you can get him on to be on there a couple times.
Yeah. He's been real nice. We've been emailing back and forth. Yeah, he's really good and such a good actor.
Oh yeah, actually, did you know that he and I didn't get to work together, but he and I were in the same NCIS episode?
I think you told me that. I think when we were out there in October, you told us that story that you guys were on the same episode, just didn't get to be on set at the same time.
And then we also done he was on Hawaii 5-0, I think, just like a few episodes before I was on Hawaii 5-0 as well.
Yeah, see, that's kind of coincidental. I thought he was on Hawaii 5-0. Every time you're on a show, we make it into a big event.
At least somebody
people over to the house. We have watch parties. It's a big deal.
Oh, are you gonna do that for mine? When
oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll have people over. We'll be watching. It'll probably be the same people that watch the Hawaii 5-0.
I love when you guys took that still shot of all of you in front of the TV screen with me on the TV and sent it to me.
I bet you did, because that was all the girls that took that. I just took the picture.
I got the girls there. Got the girls all with their tattoos all like in front, like being all fanny.
Yeah. It was pretty good. But yeah, that's the plan this time, because the 14th is, what day is that? That's
well, it'll be the shows are on Wednesday, so it's 2 weeks from last night.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have a group. We'll send you pictures again.
My phone is beeping. There's a phone call coming in. Does that interrupt the Zoom when that's happening?
I called you old man before we started the episode, but no, it won't.
Oh my God, all of a sudden
just ignore it.
Get back to reality. Went to this tiny Mike became a little teeny little Mike and then a little square, and then as the phone was ringing.
Yeah. I know it's you'd think there'd be a setting where you could, I don't know, send it so it doesn't interrupt when you're on the thing, but maybe there is, but I don't know it either.
Well, I would definitely technologically inept, so I would not know how to do that.
So I know we gotta wrap up, Chris, but what, when you're looking, for shows to be on and stuff, are you pretty much take all comers, or are there certain genres or shows or something that you target to try to be on?
I would be, it's funny you should say that, because I've been on probably 30, I can't even count, 1 hour drama shows. It seems like people think that I'm just good at, being serious.
No, we need you on a comedy. That was kind of what I was bringing up.
I'm actually reading, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm self-taping today after I got the phone with you for Goldberg. So hopefully
you need to get on that one.
I know. I did a small part on the David Spade show years ago, Rules of Engagement, which was actually funny. I had a funny little bit on that. I've read.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. Yeah, we've had a few people from Goldberg's on. That'd be a good show, because it takes place back when we were growing up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm reading for that today. I'm going to be self-taping, as we call the term for auditioning today. So tell you and your wife and everyone else that's in Team Chris Ufland.
That's right. Will give us the
yes. Yes.
So Chris, you got an open invitation to come back anytime. But a couple of things before we wrap up, because I want to make sure we get everybody watching and commenting on this episode. So the episode for Leverage, December 14th. Anything else that you've got cooking that we can kind of keep an eye out for? I know the thing you did today, but you can't talk about that yet.
Can't talk about it yet. No, I mean, hopefully I'll be able to say look out for Goldberg's. Hopefully that would be it. I
think 2023 is going to be your year. New manager, Get some momentum going with leverage. I think 2023. That's going to be the year.
Well, from God, it seems like each year, it seems like my parts get, I mean, I keep getting good parts. I keep getting good parts on good shows.
We got to get. We need you to get a recurring or even better, like main cast role.
Well,
how about you as the like the father figure on a family comedy?
Hey, tell the powers that be. I'm all right. I would be thrilled. I'd be thrilled.
I think you'd be really good at that. I think you're funny. Like your stories crack me up.
Well,
Yeah.
So I think I'm funny.
I think you're funny too. So, okay. So last thing, Chris, go through your social media.
Well, it's Chris Ufland on Instagram. I'm not very good at the posting stuff, but I'm gonna post about leverage, because leverage has their own Instagram.
Oh yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, they do. Leverage Redemption on Instagram, and they're posting. I see them posting. Dean posts a lot. They post every week of the new episode that's dropping that week. And then on Facebook, Chris Ufland on Facebook. I don't do any Twitter. I've never been a big Twitter person, so.
Twitter's the angry one. You got to be angry to be on Twitter.
And I'm not. I'm not.
Nobody has time for that.
I'm here to be arguing with everybody. It's just not my thing. So,
well,
on Instagram,
Chris, this has been the best. Oh, go ahead. Instagram.
Chris Ufland on Instagram and then Chris Ufland on Facebook. So
yeah. Now, Chris, this has been the best. You know what we think about you, so we're trying to spread that out into the world.
Right.
We'll start you need a fan club.
Well, I got the Emily Michael fan club.
Well, you got us, but that's you need more than that. if we're the highlight of your fan club, you need more than that.
Yes, I need more than two. I know. Well, my Instagram page is not exactly. It's like I think I have like 408 followers or something. It's pretty bad.
So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna get it pumped up.
Get it pumped up, please.
I mean, all joking aside, I wouldn't have you back on the show if I didn't really like you as a, great person, better actor. I think you're really talented. I'd love to see you in a starring role. You just got to find the right role.
Well, I think I got a great part on leverage. I think that's
yeah. I'm excited to see that.
I'm in a lot of the episode. I mean, I haven't seen the final cut, but the episode wouldn't make sense with me gone.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I'm excited to see it. December 14th.
December 14th.
Yeah. All right, Chris, hold on one second. Let me. All right. So that was actor Chris Ufland. Make sure support this guy. He's a good guy, good friend of ours, great actor. December 14th, Leverage. Please watch. Give your feedback. Give him some love on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you got. Definitely worth your time. He's such a good guy, one of our favorite actors, and just a really good friend. So help him out. And if you want to help us out, you hear me say this at the end of every episode, YouTube, MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.